All right, folks. So welcome to episode 19 of our creating a animatronic horror bear series. So for this video, we are going to now start building the rig that will actually control the different elements of our character. And so because it can be a robotic, mechanical looking movement for the character, we're going to make each one of these objects have its own separate rig, and then they'll be parents and children of each other. So what we're going to go ahead and do is let's start out by making sure our workspace is general. Tell it to reset current. Then let's go to File, Set Project. Look for your Fred project, hit Set. Do file open scene, open Fred 18, and then let's do a file save scene as, and we'll call this one Fred 19. All right, and so we are going to want to have for sure on our front and our side view, we do want to make sure we have X-ray on under shading so we can see inside. And I think we are ready. Oh, and up here in the top left, this little modeling drop down, let's change that to rigging so that we get our rigging options. All right, so because we are at this point, we don't really need our references anymore, at least at the moment. So I'm going to go ahead and turn on over in my channel box here under this display tab, my references layer. I'm going to go ahead and hit the V button or the V icon to turn off the visibility. I don't need those anymore. All right, so I think we'll just start at the top and kind of work our way down. And so we had planned for the ears to be able to kind of wiggle if we want to. So that's why created these controls that'll be there once we hook them all up. So I'm going to go to my front view using my mouse wheel to zoom out, holding Alt and then the middle mouse wheel to kind of align it in the center there. Same thing with the side view. Going to try to line myself up to where I can see the ear. Going to go to skeleton, create joints, and I'm going to click right at the base of the ear here. And then I'm going to go to the tip of the ear because for this case, we are simply going to have them kind of wiggle forward to backwards. Nothing fancy. Um, you'll notice that it's not quite lining up on my side view. So I'm going to grab my move tool. And if I select the base of it, it selects the whole thing. If I select just this top joint, it allows me to move that independently. And so I'm going to kind of move that to where it's lined up on the ear. And I may actually, let's shift this one back some. And then I need to bring that one back forward again. And if I look in perspective, you can tell that the bone, which is this little triangle piece, is kind of going down the middle. That should be fine for what we want. You can touch it up a little bit if you need to in this view, but again, I recommend using your front and side view as much as possible. All right, so now I'm going to select this very first one here, and over in my outliner, if you don't see it, go to Window, Outliner. I'm going to go in there in this first joint. I'm going to call this left ear joint. Then just for keeping things organized, I'm going to go ahead and move it up to, where are we at? All the way up, right below the left ear control. Then, going to go ahead and go to skeleton, mirror joints, and let me make sure that this is the right setting I want. Nope. Do Control Z, skeleton, mirror. Let's try X and Z. Nope. There we go. Mirror joint. So I went skeleton, mirror joint, and chose the YZ one. So it'll mirror it across there. Winds up calling it left ear joint 1. So I'm going to pull that one up. And I'm going to put that right below right ear control. I'm going to rename that right ear joint. All right, we also set up for the hat to be independent if we wanted it. So I'm going to go back up to skeleton, create joints, and I'm going to click as close to the center of the hat. And then I'm going to go up to the top of the hat. This side view is not bad because the hat was pretty much centered, so we're in pretty good shape there. And I will rename that hat joint. Bring that up. Just trying to keep everything organized for a little bit later. Oh, hat was way up here, so I'm gonna put it right below the hat control. All right, so next we have our eyebrow. So let's work on the eyebrow. So this one, what I think we'll do is go kind of sideways here from this being our starting point, that being our ending point. So go to skeleton, create joint. I'm gonna click right where the eyebrow starts. Click where it ends. And then in my side view, obviously it's not in the right spot. So I'm gonna go ahead and bring this forward to where it's lined up on the front of the eyebrow. Grab the second one, bring it back. And so these are getting a little large. So what I can do is go to, let's see, where am I looking? Oh, sorry, display, animation, joint size. Let's go display, animation, joint size, and we can drop this down and that'll shrink them some. And if it's still too big, you can shrink them even more so that they're not taking up as much room. All right, so let's rename this left eyebrow joint. Drag it up. Right below left eyebrow control. Then I'm going to go ahead and do skeleton, mirror joints, YZ, mirror. Come down here. Let's rename this one to be right. Then I'm going to pull that up. Right below right eyebrow control. Now the eyelids, I'm not going to actually put joints on the eyelids or the eyeball. Those are going to be done a little differently because we're just going to have the control be apparent to the actual object or mesh. So we're going to skip those. We're going to go down to the head. So we got the head here. And in this case, with the head is going to kind of be the parent of all of these things. If it moves, they move. And it's going to stay stationary even for this top jaw. The bottom jaw will be the only jaw that can move. So for the head, I'm going to go to skeleton, create joints. I'm going to click close to the base of the head. And I'm actually going to do this on the side view so I can see where the back base is. Then I'm going to go up to the top of it. So it just barely comes out the top of the head. And then if I click my move tool, it's pretty well centered already. So I'm going to call this head joint. I'm going to bring that guy up and put it just below my head control. Then we're going to go to bottom jaw. So the bottom jaw is actually going to kind of just pivot up and down. We're not going to do anything fancy. So it'll be able to pivot up and down, maybe wiggle side to side if we want. So I'm going to go skeleton, create joints. I'm going to put one here at the back of the jaw and one out the front. That way we can just make it pivot back here and just go up and down. It's centered already. It's lined up there. So I'm going to drag that up. And I'm going to put it right below bottom jaw control. I'm going to call it bottom jaw joint. All right. So now the bow tie. Bow tie, we don't actually need a joint on it. It's going to just kind of wiggle with the circle. So we'll just put a parent straight to that. So we don't really need that. Left arm is now ready for us to start working on. And again, our left upper arm is just this segment right here. So I'm going to go to skeleton, create joints. I'm going to click up here because I want it to start kind of its pivot. I guess we'll put the pivot right here. Then I'm going to go down to here. You know what? No, let's undo Control Z. I'm going to go ahead and put it right up here because I want it to kind of shift from this point so that it connects nicely with the binding. All right, so I put that there. Now, obviously, it's off center, so I'm going to grab my move tool, grab this top. Whoop. Oh, why is it not stopping? Oh, hit enter. That way it finishes it. Then I'm going to pull it back with my move tool. Try to center as best I can on the arm. All right, so we've got this joint created, and I'm going to go ahead and create all these real quick, and then I'll move them into place. So we're going to call this left upper arm joint. And then the next one goes from here to here. So let's go ahead and create that real quick. Skeleton, create joints. I click right around here and go to here. Gotta grab my move tool. I pulled this one back so that it pivots in the right spot. Then grab this one, pull it forward. We'll call it left forearm joint. And I'm actually going to move this one a hair backwards. There we go. All right, then we're going to do the hand. So I'm going to go to skeleton, create joints, kind of click at the top of the palm, go down to the bottom of the palm, and we'll grab the move tool, center it on the side view, grab this one, pull it forward on the side view, call this left palm joint. And I'm going to move all of those up by holding shift to select them all, grab middle mouse, pull them up, put them right below left arm, upper arm, and I'll just move them around. Put the palm under hand, forearm under forearm control. And I think I'm going to come back to the fingers because that's going to get a little more, everything's kind of condensed in there. So we're going to do that last. And then I'm also going to wait to mirror stuff until, or you know what, let's go ahead and just mirror these guys while we're thinking about it. So I'll do is control select, or let's just do one at a time. So I'm going to grab the upper arm joint, skeleton, mirror, YZ, forearm, skeleton, mirror, YZ. And you can technically, if you haven't changed any of your settings, you can technically go skeleton, mirror, and just click it, and it'll use whatever settings are here. I just like to check to make sure my settings are what I want. And then let's go rename these to right. All right. And then shift click them all, drag them up, put them into place. And I just noticed this hand is kind of in the, some of these are out of order, it looks like. This hand at least is. So I'm gonna grab that and pull it up right below palm. There we go. All right, so we've got those all renamed and in place. So next thing I'll go to is, like I said, we're gonna hold off on the fingers just because they're a little more condensed. Let's do his waist control, which will control his whole upper body spinning. And so I'm gonna go to side view, go to skeleton, create joints, click right at the base of his stomach, and go up to the top of his neck little piece that we put in there. I grab my move tool, it should select it. Just make sure it is centered on his body, which for the most part, it's not too bad actually. Then we will call this waist joint and drag that up to just below waist control. Then we're going to go to, let's see. Oh, you know what? No, that's in the wrong spot. That one should be called torso joint. Sorry. That one is our torso because it goes up through his body. That one needs to be right below torso control. Then we will make a waist one that's down here. That will kind of pivot his waist from this part to here. So let's go to skeleton, create joints. We can put one up here at the top of this piece down to his groin area. Go look at it from the side view, grab the move tool, pull it forward some, then grab this one, pull it back some. This will be our waist joint. All right, now I'm going to pull that up below waist control. Good to go. All right, now let's do the top of his leg. Going to go to skeleton, create joints. Click up here, go down to just about here. Let's call that left top leg joint. Then we'll do his lower part of his leg, which is this part from here down. So I'm going to go skeleton, create joints, kind of click about right here, go down to here. And then I forgot to check. Oh, I think that other one turned out pretty good. We'll check it here in just a minute. I'm going to grab this one though, center it on the side. So I think I forgot to check the side view of the other one. So this one is left bottom leg joint. Let's check the top leg. I'm going to click on it. Yeah, it needs to shift over a hair on the side view and get it a little more centered. There you go. All right, then we have the foot, and the foot's kind of just going to be able to pivot up and down and then side to side. And so I'm going to go to skeleton, create joints. I'm going to click at the back here because that'll be kind of where we pivot it. And then go to the toe. Now you'll notice it put it right here in the center. So I got to grab my move tool and actually move it into the center of his foot and call that left foot joint. All right, let's shift select all those, drag them up to the leg area, drag them where they need to go. Then let's control select or do one at a time. Actually, let's just not risk any errors like previously where they combined them and stuff. I don't want to risk any of that. So I'm going to go select it, hit mirror. And we'll call this right top leg joint. Drag that up. Grab this one, skeleton mirror, right. Oops. And then last one is our left foot joint, skeleton mirror, call it right. And let's pull that up. So the root is not going to have an actual set of joints. It is going to just parent to other pieces and other controls so that it can control where they all go at once. So now we need to do the last part, which is the fingers. So we've got thumb, pointer, middle, and pinky for each hand. So we're going to do the left hand, and then we will mirror it. So let's start with, I guess we'll try to start with the thumb. So I'm going to go to skeleton, create joints, click about the top of the thumb, click about this knuckle, and then the tip of the thumb. Now, if we look in the side, it put them all in a line. We don't really want that. So I'm going to shift over, grab each one, try to put them into place where they should be so that they kind of bend correctly. We go to our perspective view, check if it's in there, and it looks okay. So then I'll call this, well, where is it? Okay, whoops. I'm going to undo that because when it did it, it connected them to my left forearm, which we do not want. So let's try this again. I may try to go from the side so I don't accidentally click on one of those. So I'm going to go to undo all of those, get back, make sure your forearm joint, your left forearm joint ends there. Okay, so I'm going to click away, go to skeleton, create joints. I'm going to try clicking here. Then maybe I'll click on this view. Oh, yeah, I don't really like that because it made it too long. So I'll try to click here, then here. Now, because I did it from the side, it's going to try to put it in the center here. So now I have to go back over here in the front view, kind of move them into place in the front view. Remember, we're using our front view for our depth or for how far down stuff should go. I'm going to modify them a little bit to get to the tips of the front view. And we'll zoom out, look at that. And now I should have left thumb joint. All right, I'm going to hold off on moving them just yet. Going to go ahead and do the next one. Going to try to do it in here without connecting to another. Going to go skeleton, create, click about right there on the knuckle, and then on the tip. Now, obviously in the front view, did not go where it needs to, so I'm going to move it over, or sorry, side view. Going to move it over. Just kind of following along the contours of the finger. If I look in perspective, see if it looks good. Doesn't look bad. So I'll select that one. And that is his pointer. So I'll call it left pointer. Oh, what is going on? Why is it not? There we go. Let's try it again. Left pointer joint. And you can technically click these plus signs and go in and manually label every single one of these joints so that you know this next one is the knuckle for the left pointer, all of that good stuff. I'm not going to do that for this piece, but you can. Click away, then I'm going to go to skeleton, create joints, try to click again, and I'm going to try to do the next hand or finger. Going to have to drag it over again. Gets a little, this is why I kind of held this off because we start getting a little more confusing when we have them all in front and side view with all these fingers. So it gets a little tougher. So I'm just kind of pulling that into place. I'm going to go ahead and click the whole thing, make sure it looks good on. Actually, yeah, that's good. Move it a little bit on the side view. All right, so that is the left, that middle finger, left middle finger. I guess I could have just called left middle joint. All right, and now the pinky is our last one. I'm going to go ahead and click away, go to create joints, click over here, try to put them in. The only reason we're doing it with these extra ones is we kind of set up our controls to allow our fingers to bend. So this second joint that we're putting in here will allow us to create the movement of the finger bending if we wanted it to grab something, things like that. Again, it's hard to see which one I'm actually lining up with correctly. So I'm going to kind of pivot around, use my uh, perspective view as kind of a reference just to make sure it's looking good. So, all right, so I'm going to call that left pinky joint. All right, so now grab all four of those, move them up. Just going to put them below each of the two controls. So move left pointer below the left pointers, move middle below the middles, and then we'll do pinky below the pinkies. And then I'm going to select, well, let's do again one at a time. I'll start with the left thumb, skeleton, mirror joints, puts it over there. Let's go ahead and we'll just do all of them real quick and then we'll go down there. Pointer, skeleton, mirror, middle, skeleton, mirror, and then finally pinky, skeleton, mirror. Let's go down here, change them all to the right, 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 and right. All right, so now we grab them all, move them up, pull them where they need to go. And I think now we have everything that needs to have a joint. We've got them created. Everything else that is just going to be controlled by the control, like the tie, the eyeballs, they've got their controls at least there. All right, so we've got our characters' bones and joints created. In the next video, we will kind of clean up some stuff, get ready to actually bind parts of him to his joints, and then seeing if the controls work the way they need to. But for right now, I'm going to do a file save, and I will see you in the next video. All right, good luck.